All right, so you're ready to take the plunge into the world of building a deck?
A deck. Huh.
Yeah, but like maybe you're not sure where to even start.
It can definitely feel overwhelming.
Totally, and that's where I think our deep dive today comes
Yeah.
in handy.
Definitely. I mean, you might be thinking, what does a deck contractor even do?
Yeah, like beyond just like, building the thing.
Right. It's way more than just hammering some boards together, I'll tell you that.
Okay, spill the tea. Then what's the real deal with these deck contractors?
Well, they're like this multifaceted, I don't know what the word is, like multi-tool kind of person.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, they're part designer, part project manager, and
Wait for it.
part therapist.
Therapist what?
Seriously, I'm not kidding. You think about it.
Oh, yeah.
You've poured your heart and soul into designing like your dream deck, right?
Right, totally.
And then, bam, you hit a snag, drainage issues maybe?
Oh, no.
Yeah, suddenly your serene oasis is a mosquito breeding ground.
Not the vibe.
Nope. And that's where a good contractor steps in, not just with like solutions for the drainage,
Oh, okay.
but also just that calming presence, like, hey, we got this,
So it's like problem solving, but also like hand holding through the process.
Yeah, exactly. Managing expectations, anxieties, the whole shebang.
Okay, so besides the whole mosquito fiasco, what other kinds of problems do these contractors run into?
Oh man, let me tell you, you wouldn't believe some of the stuff I've seen.
Like what?
Zoning restrictions that pop up out of nowhere, underground utilities that shouldn't be there, soil conditions that need extra reinforcement. It's wild.
So basically, they're like the Sherlock Holmes of construction, sniffing out all the potential problems before they blow up.
Exactly. And they got to have those solutions ready to go, keep the project moving, keep you informed and
Well,
confident.
that's a relief. I was going to ask about permits and building codes. Do I need to handle that myself?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
A good contractor knows all the ins and outs of local codes and permits. They'll make sure your deck is beautiful, but also safe and legal.
One less thing to worry about.
They handle the paperwork inspections, all that jazz, so you can focus on the fun part.
Dreaming about all those epic deck parties.
Exactly.
Speaking of fun parts, let's talk materials.
Oh, yeah.
Pressure-treated wood cedar, composite decking. Like a whole other world.
So many choices, right?
How do you even begin to choose?
That's where the contractor's experience really shines. They guide you through the pros and cons of each material.
Okay.
And they think about things like your budget, how much maintenance you're willing to do, and, of course, your local climate.
Oh, right, like if you're in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Exactly. Humidity can be a killer there. So you might want to go with a composite material that's resistant to moisture.
Smart. So it's not just about what looks pretty. It's got to be functional, too.
Absolutely. A good contractor gets that. They want your deck to last.
Okay, so it sounds like a collaborative process. You're working with the contractor, not just taking orders.
Oh, definitely. A good contractor presents you with options, explains why they recommend certain things. It's a team effort.
I like that. So once you've picked your materials, the construction magic happens, right?
That's when things really get moving. But communication's still key.
Okay.
A good contractor will keep you in the loop every step of the way, explaining what they're doing, addressing any concerns you might have, making sure you're comfortable with the progress.
Right, it's your deck after all.
Exactly. You should feel good about the whole process.
I'm curious about the site visit, the initial one. What are they actually looking for when they come out to my house?
No, it's way more than just measuring the space for the deck.
Really? Like what?
They're checking out the overall site conditions, anything that could impact the design or the construction,
Okay.
drainage patterns, the type of soil, even the location of underground utilities or tree roots.
So it's like detective work almost.
They're piecing together all the clues to make sure your deck is built right and built to last.
So they're looking for those potential problems before they turn into a nightmare.
Exactly. Remember those mosquito havens we were talking about?
Oh, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, a good site evaluation can prevent a lot of headaches down the road.
Okay, so we've got problem-solving communication skills and detective work. These deck contractors are like superheroes.
And we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to it, the art and science of building a deck.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. Tell me more.
Well, it's about creating a space that's not just beautiful but functional, a space where you can make memories.
Okay, I'm hooked. What else can you tell me about this whole deck building thing?
We'll get into all that right after the break.
All right, so let's talk about this art and science of deck building. What's that all about?
Well, it's kind of like a dance between, being really precise and having this creative vision.
Okay.
So it all starts with a good foundation, literally.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like a good contractor is going to make sure those footings are in there solid.
Right, good. Support all that weight.
Exactly, especially in places where the soil likes to shift around.
That makes sense. So
Yeah.
what comes after you got the foundation in?
Then comes the framing. It's like the skeleton of the deck.
Okay, the
Yeah.
bones of the whole thing.
Yeah, and that's when you really start to see the shape and the structure come together.
Oh, cool.
They use pressure-treated lumber for that, usually super durable, and it can handle the elements.
Makes sense. So this is where the real construction know-how comes in, right?
Definitely different designs need different framing techniques.
Oh, so like a basic rectangle is different from something more fancy.
Totally. If you've got multiple levels or curves or anything intricate, the framing has to be engineered just right.
Wow. There's a lot more to it than I thought. So once the framing's up, what's next?
Then comes the decking itself, the part you actually
Yeah.
walk on.
Okay, the main event.
And this is where you can get creative with materials. We talked about pressure-treated wood cedar composite,
Right.
but you can also go with like exotic hardwoods, even aluminum decking.
Fancy.
Yeah, lots of options. Each one's got its own unique look and feel.
So how do you choose what's right for you?
It depends on what you're going for, really.
Mhm.
Aesthetics, budget, lifestyle, all that jazz.
Like if I want something that looks natural and warm,
Cedar could be a good choice.
yeah, and if I'm all about low maintenance,
Then composite decking's your friend.
makes sense. A good contractor will help me figure all that out, right?
Oh, yeah. They'll lay it all out for you. Pros and cons help you make the best decision.
It's like having a deck building guru by your side.
Exactly.
What about all the other stuff? Railing, stairs, all that.
That's when the art part really comes in.
Oh, okay.
Railings can be super simple or really fancy wood metal cable, even glass,
Wow.
and stairs, straight curved spiral, you name it. You can even add built-in seating planters, pergolas, fire pit.
Wait, a fire pit on the deck?
Yeah, why not? The possibilities are endless.
This is starting to sound less like a deck and more like a whole extra room.
It kind of is, right? It's
Yeah.
all about extending your living space, taking it outside.
I love that. And a good contractor can help me pull it all together, right? Like make sure it flows in my house and everything.
Of course, they can even work in some lighting so you can enjoy your deck at night.
Okay, now you're talking cozy evenings under the stars. But I gotta ask, with all this construction going on, isn't it going to be a total mess?
That's a fair point, but a good contractor is going to be super careful about minimizing the disruption.
Okay, good.
They'll use tarps and stuff to keep everything contained, and they'll clean up every day.
Whew.
And of course, they'll keep you updated on the schedule so you know what to expect.
Okay, that makes me feel better. So communication is key then.
It's like the foundation of the whole project, really, from the first meeting to the final walkthrough.
Right, because if things aren't clear, that's when problems start.
Exactly. You don't want to end up with a deck you hate.
Definitely not. So how can I make sure I'm communicating effectively with my contractor?
Well, first off, be upfront about everything, your vision, your budget, what you're hoping for.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to bring visuals, pictures, sketches, Pinterest boards, whatever helps them get your style.
That's a great idea.
And most importantly, ask questions.
Oh, yeah.
If something doesn't make sense, speak up. A good contractor wants you to be informed and happy with the process.
That makes sense. So it's all about finding a contractor who listens and understands your vision.
Absolutely. They should be able to take your ideas and make them a reality.
So we've talked about the technical side, the materials, the construction, but what about the emotional side of
Oh,
it?
yeah, that's important too.
Like you said, a deck's more than just a platform. It's an extension of your living space.
Exactly. It's about creating a place where you can relax, connect with people, make memories.
Okay. I'm getting all sentimental now.
It's about enhancing your lifestyle, taking your home to the next level.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
So it's not just adding square footage. It's adding a whole new dimension to your life.
You got it. Imagine yourself out on your deck on a warm summer night.
Okay. I'm picturing it.
You've got a cold drink in your hand, the smell of barbecue in the air, you're surrounded by friends and family.
Sounds perfect.
Or maybe you're curled up with a good book, enjoying the peace and quiet.
Oh, yeah, that's the life.
It's a space for everything. Morning yoga, afternoon tea parties, stargazing, whatever you can dream up.
So it's all about the experiences you create in that space.
That's the heart of it. And a good deck contractor gets that they're not just building a structure, they're building a stage for life's best moments.
Wow, that's beautiful.
It really is. And that's why it's so important to find a contractor who understands that emotional side, who can translate those dreams into something real.
It's like finding a soulmate for your deck.
Haha, kind of. It's a partnership, built on trust, communication, and a shared passion for creating something special.
This has been so insightful. I feel like I've learned so much.
Glad to hear it.
We've covered everything from the nitty-gritty details to the emotional heart of it all. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners who are ready to start their own deck building journey?
Do your research, choose a reputable contractor like Green Exterior Remodeling here in Charlotte, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Most importantly, have fun with it. Building a deck should be an exciting experience, and the end result will be a space you'll cherish for years to come.
That's great advice. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of deck contractors. We hope you've learned a few things, gained some inspiration, and maybe even started dreaming about your own outdoor oasis. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep. Okay, so we've talked about like all the technical stuff,
Great.
materials, the actual
Yeah.
building process, but I want to hear more about that whole like emotional side of having a deck.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's easy to get caught up in all the nuts and bolts of it all.
Totally.
But at the end of the day, it's about creating a space where you actually live and relax and hang out with people.
Yeah, it's like an extension of your home, right?
Exactly. It's like expanding your house without actually
Mhm.
adding on.
I like that. So it's not just about adding square footage. It's like adding a whole new dimension to your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine stepping out onto your deck on a warm summer evening. You got a cold drink in your hand.
Okay, yeah.
The smell of dinner, cooking on the grill. You're surrounded by friends and family.
This sounds amazing.
Right. Or maybe you're just chilling with a good book, enjoying the peace and quiet.
That's a dream.
It can be anything you want it to be. Morning yoga, afternoon tea parties, stargazing, whatever you can dream up.
So it's all about the experiences you create in that space.
Exactly. And a good deck contractor gets that they're not just building a platform, they're building a stage for life's best moments.
I love that. It really adds like a whole other layer to the whole deck building thing.
It does. And that's why it's so important to find a contractor who understands that emotional side.
Yeah.
Someone who can take those dreams and make them real.
So it's about finding someone who gets you, who understands your vision.
Totally. It's a partnership, built on trust, communication, and a shared passion for creating something awesome.
I think that's a perfect way to put it. This has been such a great conversation. I feel like I've learned so much.
Glad to hear it.
We've covered so much from the technical details to like the heart and soul of it all.
Yeah.
Any last words of wisdom for our listeners who are ready to jump into their own deck building adventures?
Do your research, find a reputable contractor like Green Exterior Remodeling here in Charlotte, and don't be afraid to ask questions. But most importantly, have fun with it. Building a deck should be an exciting experience, and you'll end up with a space you'll love for years to come.
That's great advice. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of deck contractors. We hope you learned a few things, got some inspiration, and maybe even started dreaming about your own outdoor oasis. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.